Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Doe, and I'm a high school science teacher in Augusta, Georgia. And I also serve as the Vice President for the Georgia Association of Educators. We're at that exciting time of year where we're returning to school. And we have Martisa Moore and Tamika Price here to talk about the TKES process. Ladies, will you please introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. I am Martisa Moore. I am a 7th grade ELA teacher in Decatur County. I am a teacher at Bainbridge Middle School. I serve 7th grade ELA as chair, as ELA department chair. I also serve on the board of directors for GAE, and I am so happy to be here with you tonight.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamika Price, and I am a high school business ed teacher with Gwinnett, and I'm just starting with the county. So I teach IBT, which is Intro to Business Technology, and Hospitality and Advanced Fashion. So I'm excited to be here. I'm also a part of the GAE Cadre group. Just happy to be here and share all that we know. And hopefully it helps someone.
Well, Tamika, you had a lot of preps.
Yes.
So
I'm excited though.
It's really going to be important for you, as it is for all educators. And that's why it's so important that we know about TKES and that we know what to expect and what to do so that we can get the best TKES score possible.
Yes.
Martisa, go ahead.
All right, guys, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Not sure how we got all the way on slide 40, but just hold on just a second, and I will try my best to get us where we need to be.
While she's getting where we need to be, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. If you missed it, our guests tonight are Martisa Moore and Tamika Price, and they'll be talking about the TKES process. And again, my name is Sharon Doe. I serve as your GAE Vice President, and I'm a high school science teacher in Augusta, Georgia. Our GAE President, Lisa Morgan, is traveling to another county tonight, so she couldn't be here with us. And our GAE Secretary Treasurer, Carly Shaw. As you know, she's experienced death in her family, so please keep her and her family in your thoughts. Thank you.
We always like to begin by acknowledging the land. And so we begin by acknowledging that we meet on traditional lands served by the Muskogee Creek people. We acknowledge this land has complex and layered history and pay respect to the elders who have stewarded the land throughout the generations and continue to do so. We also acknowledge this nation who were forcefully removed from this land under the Indian Removal Act of 1830 is to understand who we are in the context of our past, present, and future. We carry the knowledge of this ancestry with us throughout this process and in all we do. They believe very strongly that their souls were intertwined with the soul of the land, that where they were was a part of who they were. We honor America's first people and all elders, past, present, and emerging.
All right, Martisa, have you shared the screen? Because I can't, on my side, I can't see it.
Okay, just give me a second. I do apologize if I didn't. I thought I did.
No problem.
And for those who joined us, if you have questions that you want to put in the chat, please feel free to do so. I'll be monitoring the chat as well as letting people in.
All right, guys, do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just put it in presentation mode.
I will. Just give me a second. I got a whole bunch going on over here.
So
There you go.
that is perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to give our community agreements, or basically known as norms, our norms. So we're going to try to begin and end on time because we will respect your time. We know that most educators are either returned to work or about to. So we want to begin and end on time. We want to respect people and their viewpoints. Listen when others are speaking. Step up, we like to say step up and step back. So it's a time for you to step up, and then it's a time also to pull back. Cameras on, ready to engage, open to new learnings. That's, if you don't want your cameras on, we're not gonna, call you out. So silence your technology, all other technology, and then say checked in. Please type your questions in the chat box. Just like Ms. Doe said, we will be answering any questions that you have at any time. So please don't hesitate to put those in there. And then celebrate and affirm each other's accomplishments. So we all need that pat on the back sometimes. So please, 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 look over our norms and follow accordingly.
All right. We want to make sure that we tell you that this is the year. This is it. We're here, guys. This is the year that TKES will be fully implemented. And so what does that mean? We want to go through what it means for you and for all educators in the state of Georgia. That means that student growth, things and TAPs, all of that stuff is going to count this year. They haven't been the last few years because we were in COVID, and those things will start counting now. And so our leaders at GAE felt it very important that we go ahead and get a jump on what we need to be doing as educators and getting ready so that when our administrators, our leaders, our school leaders come in to observe us or evaluate us, we'll be ready and we'll be on point to do what we need to do.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start with our lesson targets. And the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is, what is TKES? What is TIM? What is TAP? What is SGP? What is professional growth? We're going to become familiar with the standards of TKES, how to document the standards for TKES, and we're going to tell you some things to do within the platform. Ms. Price is going to pull the platform up for us, and she's going to go through it, and she's going to give us some steps about how we do things in the platform and how you document things, how you get artifacts in the platform. And then finally, we're going to learn how to develop a professional goal.
All right, so what is TKES? As educators, you're going to hear, if you haven't, if you're a new teacher, brand new teacher, we love, the educational system love acronyms. So don't fret. TKES is the Teacher Keys Effectiveness System. Now, this system is designed for building teacher effectiveness and ensuring that we are accountable throughout the state. That's all. It's multiple sources of data that it's 3 different components that provide the multiple source of data, And those 3 components are your TAPs. You remember my teacher mentioned TAPs. TAP stands for Teacher Assessment on Performance Standards. P, the professional growth, and S is that student growth. So you have the 3 components, and I like to, first letters. So the T, the P, and the S, the TAPs, the professional growth, and then you have your student growth. So that's TKES.
Right.
You want me to do this one?
Yes, ma'am, please.
All right, so we're gonna discuss TAPs a little bit more. TAPs provide evaluators with a quantitative rubric evaluation, and it's where you're going to be given a number based on your performance, basically. So the TAPs and it'll make sense once I show you the platform, but all 10 of your performance standards are going to be in there, and they're going to rate you and give you a quantitative rating based on the rubric. So that's
Right.
TAP.
And so that's what we're focusing on mainly this year, is what we've been told that they're going to count everything this year. So they're going to be counting all 10 standards when they come in to observe you. That's nothing new, guys. We've been doing it anyway. So this is just a refresher to help you guys know, so you'll be in the know of what will be going on. So again, like I said, all 10 standards must be rated across the combination of the observation with the flex process. Now, the flex process is for those teachers who are new, okay? Those are new, between 1 to 3 years, or in a new content area. It's up to your district. It's up to your district. Hear me well. If they put you on this plan or not. It could be a teacher who's struggling with something, and they may possibly put you on this plan. One thing that we want you to remember, if you have an observation or evaluation that you're not pleased with, do not sign it.
Exactly.
Talk to somebody. Do not sign it. Talk to somebody first. You may want to call your UNICEF directors. They have a lot of insight on what to do and what not to do, but I would not sign it until I talk to somebody who knows and can go through your observation and have you ask questions to that administrator, because that's very, very important.
Yes.
Observations by that evaluator has to be certified through the state. They have to have that evaluator's credential. So that should only be, it could be lead teachers, but it should only be assistant principals and principals. And in the past, we've seen punitive things tried to be done to educators through this evaluation system. So that's why we want to make sure that you're on top of everything, okay? And then finally, all 10 performance standards shall be rated on the summative. And the summative is your overall score of everything that you get from the TKES evaluation. Is everybody good, or am I going too fast? Give me a thumbs up. All right. Ms. Price?
All right. So the P, professional growth. Professional growth is measured by your progress toward the attainment of your professional goal. And we're going to talk about creating a professional goal for yourself. These goals or plans may or may not be reflected of your professional learning goals or the professional learning plan as defined with the Georgia PSC. So this is your own personal goal that you want to achieve for the year. And I'm not going to get too far into it, but this is personal. What do you want to achieve this year? And I'm gonna say, start small. Start one thing, give it a time, and go from there. Don't overwhelm yourself with a huge goal. So that's professional growth. Okay.
Yeah. Also, with your professional growth, you need to remember that you'll do a self-assessment. And don't kill yourself on the self-assessment. Go somewhere in the middle, so that even if we all know that we are effective educators, but if I rate myself a 4 and I'm not doing 4 work, I would say do a 3. Somewhere in the middle, so that you'll have room to grow. Because if your administrator does not see what you're putting down, they could possibly give you a lower ranking, and we don't want that. So we want you to be completely honest. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't give yourself a 2. Don't give yourself a 1, because we always know that we can grow. We always can grow. So maybe give yourself a 3, so that you'll have some room to grow. You'll give yourself grace to grow. Okay?
That's good, Martisha. That's very good. Because if you give yourself 4s, like she said, the principal is going to want to see, they're going to want to see documentation. And especially first year teachers, you're going to have a lot on your plate. So stay around 3s and grow. Soon you'll be at that 4, but don't stress yourself out. with fours, because they do want to see a lot of documentation if you list yourself as a four.
And it was, Ms. Price, I need to say this, it was really, when we first started, you and I first started doing this presentation, it was really exciting for me to know that a lot of teachers don't go in the platform and don't upload our artifacts.
I know.
Artifacts, guys, upload them. It's not going to hurt anything. You can't break the platform. You can't.
You know.
You to learn. It has a whole bunch of tools in it so that you can grow. You can grow as an educator. You can put some of those trainings down that you take through through the TEK platform. There are professional developments that you can take through TEKS. So don't sell yourself short and not go in it and play in it. I know we're overwhelmed, but if we start now, if you can start now, I know I already have my lesson plans almost completely ready for the year. So just upload, upload every other week. You don't have to upload every single lesson plan, but what if an administrator comes in and says, they didn't have any lesson plans, but you can go back and say, yes, I did. It's on my platform as well as I've shared it with you. So guys, we just want you to stay on top of things. I know that may sound like, oh, I do this already, but we're beginning the year. And so we need to remind ourselves that go with that platform and do some of those good things, because that's going to be really important when it comes to your top score.
Okay. Student growth. Go back one.
Yes, ma'am.
So student growth is that S. And this, I'm gonna just give it to you in layman terms. It's gonna go based off of last year's, and my teacher make sure I'm saying correctly. It's gonna go off last year's test assessment data. So they are gonna go. They're going to start with the 22-23 year, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And so you are completely new, Ms. Price. I do apologize for stepping under. If you're completely new, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
You don't have any data. You don't have any data, so you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. But this is the state wants to. I'm sorry, not state. Your school wants to be able to compare data from last year to this year. And of course, they want to see an increase. So that's the student growth measure. So if you want to know what they're measuring, they're going to be looking at your grades. They're going to be looking at your state assessment. If you have EOCs, have any EOPAs, they're looking at your grades and the students' progress, and from last year, the prior year, based on this year. So if you're a new teacher, this does not apply to you. But if you are a senior and we know student growth, they're basing it off last year results and what we do this year.
Right. Any questions so far? Everybody good? Yes? You guys are mighty quiet.
How does student growth work for special education teachers? Oh, that's a good question. Now this is me right here. So for special education teachers, I think they have a whole different measure. I don't think they go with state assessment. They have they don't go with state assessment tests. I can't think of the grid that they use.
They do. I'm a special ed teacher for 27 years across multiple districts. We have the exact same assessment.
Exact same assessment.
Yeah, because it's customized based on your goals. So your student performance goal was based on whatever you're setting up as a criteria in your content area as well.
Is it modified?
No, ma'am.
But they have the students have modifications.
The students,
you got to read accommodations.
Students have accommodations, not modifications.
Gotcha.
But the TKES is designed like everybody else's TKES. So you'll set up your own professional goal, which might be related to your students and their progress, or whatever your compliance things you have to do around special ed. So you may have a special ed related personal professional goal, and then your student data is going to still be based on your student's performance on state assessments or in the course tests or whatever you have. So
but they have their own little group, subgroup, don't, and
Special
I'm
ed is
asking
a
a question.
Special ed is a subgroup. However, they still count toward the overall performance of a school. It counts to that CPR,
I got you.
score
Thank
and
you
all of
so
that.
much.
So, yeah.
Thank you. I did not know
You're
that.
welcome.
Okay, let's take a couple of more questions. We have a question. How does it work for teachers new to a grade level?
Those teachers would not be, they'll be considered just like, that's why you're on the flex plan. So those teachers would be the same as the beginning year teacher.
Is that what?
Another question, is it based on IEP goals or state assessments for student growth?
That would be state assessment. TKES is based on state assessment.
Good questions.
Good questions.
Yes. And we are all learning.
Okay.
Okay.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. LEA determines measures for teachers like me. I'm considered an elective teacher. I teach business and marketing. So we're teachers who have a non-SGP grades, which is non-student growth performance. So we percentile. So we're not based off our student growth is not based off of state assessments, if that makes sense, because we don't give any. So ours is a little different. What they look at is the students' learning objectives. Did they do it? What we say they're going to learn, did they learn it? So it's a little
Those
different.
objectives are also defined by the state, though.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's important to remember. They're defined by the state, and so that's why they're counted.
So we're responsible for standards, but our students have to show that they learn the objectives through project-based. Most of our classes are project-based. They have to show something. So that's why it's a different measure. We don't give a milestone for marketing. So I hope that makes sense.
Okay, so last question, and then I'm going to let you go ahead with your presentation. It says, my school has yearly spreadsheets that we have to keep updated that is shared with the whole school. Do I need to ask my administration team if they want us to upload documentation to the TKES platform, or should I just do it anyway?
I would do it anyway. It
Me
can't hurt
too.
anything. Your administrators, I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of administrators don't know that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't use it. They don't utilize the platform. And so if you utilize the platform, you'll have evidence that you're doing what you say you're doing in your classroom.
And that's the whole point. That's
Yeah.
the whole point, to have evidence to back up the score you say you want if you're unhappy with the score that you get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because once you put it in, it becomes data.
Mm-hmm.
And in the words of Dr. Carter, data don't lie. So you need to make sure that you put it in the platform. A lot of teachers don't do it. A lot of districts don't require their teachers to do it. And I know mine does not, but I promise you, I'm one in Decatur County that uploads stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I upload it just because you just never know if you're going to get an administrator or somebody at a district level that says, let's get her. She's not doing what she's supposed to do. Well, here's my evidence, baby.
Exactly.
And the proof is in the pudding. All right?
Data doesn't lie. I saw a question about EOC, and the EOC, I think she said she taught EOC with economics. And is that used as a measuring tool? If your district,
it's a state test, yes.
Right. And the EOCs is.
Yep, and of course tests are. Okay, and so we talked about the data lagging. Ms. Price, I think I'm stepping all over your toes again. This is
Go
yours.
ahead. Go ahead.
We talked about the data lagging, and so it'll be the prior year data that they use. Ms. Price already told us that they use to calculate that summative performance evaluation. Okay.
Ooh, now we get into the nitty gritty. So TEKE standards.
All right.
Here are the first 5.
First,
so number,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
Ms. Price.
Go ahead.
Professional knowledge is number 1. And we're going to talk more about all of these and how you can document them in your platform in just a few minutes. Second one is instructional planning, instructional strategies. Number 4 is differentiational instruction. And then number 5 is assessment strategies.
Okay, so 6 through 10. 6 is assessment uses. 7 is positive learning environment. 8 is academically challenging environment. 9, professionalism, and 10, communication. So we're about to break those down one by one.
All right, Ms. Price.
Okay, so standard 1, we said was professional knowledge. That means the teacher, you, me, we demonstrate an understanding of what we're teaching. That's it. You know what you're teaching. That's why this weekend, a lot of my teachers was like, I don't carry homework. Well, I'm going to have to, because I'm teaching new curriculum and I don't want to come in there and not know my content. And children will call you out if you're not prepared. So I'm going to be reading the standards and jumping ahead because I want to demonstrate professional knowledge. If my principal AP come in there, I want them to know that I know what I am talking about.
And yeah, and you want to make sure that you're asking those students the depth of knowledge questions, and I can get into a whole spiel about that, but I will not tonight because that's not what we're doing. So make sure that you document those things on your lesson plans as well, because that'll show that you have that professional knowledge, and it'll also show that you're differentiating when you're teaching. Okay?
Which is another standard.
All right.
Guys, you can do, evidence can be in more than one category.
Yeah.
But okay.
We'll talk about that too.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Price, it's still on you.
All right, standard 2 is instructional planning. This is where you sit down and using your state and local school district curriculum standards and strategies and resources that you have, and you're going to address all the different needs of all your babies. So I've learned, I'm just starting with Gwinnett, but they have Gwinnettified their standards. So I don't go directly to the Georgia Department of Professional Standards. I go to, my E-class, which is part of the system I'm in. So their standards are a little different, but it's school approved. The district approved these. So this is you using that. You using those standards, and then you creating those I can statements and putting your objectives up there, and you're making different lesson plans for to reach all your students in your classroom. So that's instruction. All that is part of standard 2, instructional planning. Matisha, did you want to add something?
Yeah, also, guys, when you have those meetings with your instructional coordinators, they have you sign off on it. One might want to take a picture. I know I'm getting into where I don't need to be. Might want to snap a picture of it and upload it to that platform. That is documentation showing that you are working on instructional planning.
Correct.
All right, and then instructional strategies. Those are things that are research-based that you are documenting on your lesson plans. So you guys know all about those small group activities, whole group activities, all of those kind of strategies, collaboration, think, pair, share, all of those things, all of those different kinds of strategies that we use as educators in the classroom. Make sure you're doing it. Make sure you're documenting it on your lesson plans, because that again is some data.
And just get one of your students, after you learn your students, get one and have them do your, take a video when you know you're doing this particular instructional strategy, you're using one in particular, just have one of your students record the lesson and upload it to the platform, and you're done.
You can do all that. Really, really simple things.
Mhm.
Differentiated instruction. I know that I have some special ed teachers on here with me tonight. Make sure, guys, that you are documenting that you're using those things. Make sure that you document that you have those co-teachers in there with you when you have them in your regular ed classroom. Make sure you, when you have those inclusion classes, make sure you document all of that on your lesson plans. If it's nothing except saying block 2, I have a co-teacher, make sure you document that, upload it on that platform. Those are things that teachers do to support students in their individual learning styles, okay? So that is going to show that you're driving that instruction from that data.
All right. Standard 5 assessment strategies. These are your tests. And you can give tests either formative or summative. So you could, and real quick test is a ticket out the door of thumbs up or thumbs down. I mean, that really and truly, that's you're gauging what they know. Did they observe what you just, did they digest what you just gave them? So a quick little thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't understand it, but tickets out the doors are great, And again, have that student record it, and you just gave us assessment and to gauge if your students actually learn what you taught them that day. So this is those assessment strategies. Some to the test, the finals, the little quizzes. So any of those, it could be teacher created.
Yep.
You upload it, and it's there.
Yep.
Standard 5. So a quick, if you did a ticket out the door, they had to write on the note card, answering the question. You can take a picture of the note card. Boom. Assessment strategies.
And then the next one, Ms. Price's assessment uses.
Now, this is a little different because assessment uses is gathering. So Standard 5, you just gave the formative and you just gave the summative or. So now you got to measure that. This is data. And again, data don't lie. So you're saying after they do it, if half of my class or maybe a third didn't put the thumbs down, I took the picture, thumbs down, then I need to go back and look at that standard and deliver it a different way. But this is you are getting the data from that assessment, either formative or summative, and you're analyzing it. Did 80% of the class get it? And you're still gonna, reteach that 20%, but they could be in a little small group for now, while you have the other 80% move on. But this is when you're looking at the data. So you don't want to do something and just don't ever go back and look at it and analyze it. So that's standard 6.
And then constructive feedback. I use Pear Deck a lot, guys, in my classroom. And so you give automatic feedback with that. And those things you can download in PDFs, and it has the students, it's secret, but you know who the students are. And so you can download that and upload it you can download it as a PDF and upload it into that platform. I know some of you use Canva, all of that stuff. You can download those things and upload it. So those are really good ways to show how you're using your assessment.
Exactly.
All right, and then next one is positive learning environment. So one thing that you need to do is make sure your classroom is very well organized and making sure that your students know the procedures. So those first 2 weeks of school, you're going through those procedures, and it is going to be evident when that administrator walks into your classroom if you have a positive learning environment or not. Yes. Because your students will respect you and you will respect your students, and it will show. So make sure that you are providing a positive learning environment, and we're going to tell you how you can prove that in just a few minutes.
Yes. And this one is academically challenging environment. So this is where you are going to, this is rigor.
Mhm.
And all of us heard of rigor. You're gonna introduce some rigor
Where they
activities,
are.
some higher
Yeah.
level,
Yeah, we're
higher
meeting
level
them where they
thinking.
are too. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I love that. Meet them where they are.
Yeah.
So this is that you're not spoon feeding them the answers. You are pointing on critical thinking skills,
Mhm.
problem solving. That's where this is. That higher level of thinking. So it's not, true or false. It's why did you choose false for this question? So it's that higher order, problem thinking, critical thinking. And we're going to show you examples of how you can do that.
And so the next one is professionalism. So you're going to be able to show this by uploading your invitation or your email that says you signed up for the TKES workshop tonight. You can upload all of that stuff, and that is proving that you are doing your professional due diligence to do what you need to do for those students. You're learning, you're growing. So, and make sure that you have lesson plans documented. All of that stuff is make sure you're attentive to those students. All of that stuff is showing your professionalism. And so we're going to make sure that we're uploading all of those things, and we're going to talk about a few of those in just a few minutes.
Every conference just today, all the CTAE teachers in the county, we had to go to a professional learning development session. We had to sign up. So I have proof that I signed up. I have proof that I attended. So that's going to be uploaded in Standard 9.
If you're in school for something, that is showing that you are trying to grow professionally. So all of that goes. Okay. And then finally, Standard 10.
Communication. Communicate.
So my district uses Infidus Campus, and whichever platform you use. If you document that you are contacting parent letters, anything, any way you communicate, make sure you're documenting it, and you can use those things as PDF and uploading them. Okay.
Now we're going to get into evidence. How or what do I upload? So for Standard 1, remember it's professional knowledge. These are some of the evidence that you can upload to prove that you have done. You can check Standard 1 off, and that's the summary of your plan for integrating instruction, your class profile. And a lot of this is found, I used to be in Infinite Campus. A lot of this is found in Infinite Campus. With Gwinnett is e-class, I think, and I'm still learning. But a lot of this is found in whatever platform your district uses. You can get a teacher chart, your seating chart, photographs of instructional materials, your lesson plans, intervention plans. All that is documentation of your professional knowledge that you know what you're doing.
Yep. And if you create a test and you give it to your students on paper, just snap a picture of it and upload it to that platform. It's just that simple. Or use it as a PDF and upload it. It's really, really simple. It's not complicated at all. It takes probably about 3 minutes to upload something once you get used to using the platform. And we're not saying doing it every single day all the time.
Right, no.
But at least have something in there so you'll have some evidence that you're doing what you say you're doing or what they're paying you to do.
I mean, just make your day where you're doing it every 2 weeks, or, just make a plan to not, because we go into it in the beginning of the school year. They're going to have you create your professional goals, self-reflection, and things like that. So don't let that be the only time you go into the platform, is what we're trying to say. So it's not something you have to do every day, but visit it often, at least once a month, and just, it doesn't take long. Doesn't take long at all.
Yeah, not at all.
And we're doing this,
Mika,
guys. We're doing this. Yes, ma'am.
you guys mentioned Infinite Campus.
Mhm.
Infinite Campus is easy to use for communication to parents because at the end of the week, you can send a quick email to every student's parents
Yes.
about assignments that they've missed for the week.
Mhm.
And so that lets parents know instantly how their child is doing in your class.
Yes.
And you can also generate a report from Infinite Campus.
You sure can.
And it'll be, you can use a PDF or you can just print it and upload it to the platform. Guys, I'm telling you, this is really simple. And if you do it, if somebody tries to give you a bad evaluation and you're doing all of that and you pull it up and they see all of the artifacts that you have on it, they're gonna look really dumb.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's stuff we're already doing.
We're already doing it. Yeah, look at for standard 2, we have the course syllabus, lesson plans, intervention plans, team department meetings. Snap it, take a picture of it. When you sign off, just snap it. There's my name, and you circle your name. You know, we can do this stuff with technology now. Circle your name and say, it should be, you should not be signing anything blank. So it should say ELA department 7th grade, and it should have, you could be able to take that picture and upload it. Substitute lesson plans, you know, they're due really soon after we start back doing post planning. We go ahead and get our emergency plans together, upload them. Once you type them out, upload them to that platform. Simple things that you can do to help yourself prove that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now, should we have to do all of that? No, but just in case somebody wants to play like you're not, and we know you all are effective teachers because that's why you're members of GAE. So we want you to go ahead and upload those things so that we can be proactive just in case. Be proactive. So look at this one. This is pretty cool. Tamika likes to do this.
I do. Instructional strategies. I love videos. You know, I always pick out my little, you know your student who's not going to play with your phone if you give it to them. You learn them. That's what the first couple of weeks are for. You learning their names, learning their personalities. So I always have that student that I can rely on to video me, teaching a lesson, video the class, doing a project, group work. So this is I love instructional strategies. When you use those small groups, you know, I can have one group over here, they're doing they're discussing the notes and sharing notes and everything, and then this group over here, I'm remediating it. I'm going back over that standard that they didn't quite get based on my summative assessment. So this is wonderful. Any handouts, presentation visuals, technology samples on this. We don't really use this a lot, but any technology samples that you have, a student doing a presentation. I did that last year. That's good stuff. And just remember to record it and upload it and put it into your standards. Like we said,
yeah, it doesn't have to be a very long video either.
No.
It's showing the significant parts of that instructional strategy.
Exactly. And remember, one evidence can go in more than one standard. I hope that makes sense. One evidence can go into more than one standard.
So your lesson plans can go into instructional strategies because you're going to have that strategy listed in your lesson plan. So it could go into that, into this one as well.
Exactly.
All right, so differentiation instruction. So on this one, guys, you can do how you remediate activities with your students. I like to use on my lesson plans, they're color coded so that I know what group students go in. And so you can just quickly make a note and say on the bottom of your lesson plans, and I do it every week, I do it. And so that color code is on there. And so when you upload it into that platform, you have details about your differentiation and what you're doing with those students in your classroom.
Now, for our special education teachers, when you go to these EIP meetings, and for us, because we have to go as general teachers as well, when they send out that summary of the consultation, the meeting, that's documentation. That's documentation. When I just said that I have 80% of my class moving on to the next unit, but I wanted to bring this 20% of my class over here because they didn't do too well, that's remediation. So, or giving them another handout where they can go back and review the unit. And now I want vocabulary, not from the book, but in their own words, so I can make sure they have it. That's documentation. Yep. So again, guys, we're doing it. We just need to cover our own behinds. Yep. by documenting, uploading documentation. That's it.
Okay, we have a question. Someone wants to know, how can I gain access of this recording with the samples and examples of documentation?
I'm glad you asked. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. When you we're going to send a cheat sheet to everybody who's registered for this workshop. We have it for the Saturday ones that we do, and so we'll upload. We'll send you email with a Word document. That helps. Is that good?
Good.
Cool beans. Well, guys, standard 5, remember assessment strategies. This is a copy of your teacher-made test, the rubric. I taught PowerPoint. So whenever they did a PowerPoint, I gave them a rubric. And they needed to know, you know, that it needed to have a title. It needs to have so many slides. Take a picture, upload it. You know, the rubric, your test, summary of explaining your grading procedures, most of that is in your what? Your syllabus. So that's why I said, you know, one evidence can go into more than one standard. So that's your test, your rubrics, your the grading procedures, which mine is in my syllabus. Those are easy things that we're already doing. You got standard 5 done, assessment strategies.
I told you that I would email you guys. I'm going to drop before this is over, I'm going to drop my GAE email in the chat. If you want a copy of this presentation, just email me and I will shoot it back to you, because everybody may not want it.
Standard 6, guys, is assessment uses. So this is the record keeping system, our record keeping system, and how you use it to monitor student academic progress. So if a teacher, observer, principal, AP comes in and they ask me about record keeping, how do you monitor your student academic progress? I can show them, you know, they took this summative assessment and my students, like I'm going to the age 20, 80% achieve good grades, pass, but it's 20%, they're 70 or below. So you can tell them right then, I've seen the data, I've analyzed the data, I'm using the data. So you have a record keeping system, and you've already documented your tests, you know.
Those things are simply, we use Illuminate in our district. So it's simply a report. Already, it's a simple report. You pull it up and you just want to do it of that certain class, and you upload, you upload, and that's your data. Okay.
And I'm like, again, I'm new to the district, but I do remember them saying that you can create those charts to show, you know, this class did this well on it. So it's that data, it's the data. And if you are actually using the data. Okay. This is also progress reports. And again, we the system I'm in now, they said that we can send progress report. The last system I was at, they came from the office. We had to give them to them. But I would screenshot it and upload it. But now I can send out my own progress report. So, hey, it's already in the system. I just upload it and put it into my standard.
And then in Infidus Campus, there is a report, a grades report, just that simple, grades. And so you can do all of the assessments that you do, all of your daily grades, you can do your whole grade book. There's your evidence, okay? Just that simple. And so, yeah, it's really simple. So you're already doing the work. Don't sweat, you're already doing the work. But if you do these things, once you do your classroom expectations for your students, go ahead and upload them. I always like to let my students help me do my expectations for my classroom at the beginning of the year so that they can have some buy-in to, hey, should we be yelling in class, or, so that they can have some student buy-in to what we're doing and the expectations that I have for them, but I'm really guiding them into what I want them to do. So you really have to upload those things. Take a picture of those posters that you have in your classroom with your expectations on them. And I promise you that students, it'll be evident that you're doing what you say you're doing, because the students, when you come into class, you won't have any classroom behavior problems. They won't be perfect. They won't talk out of term. They won't, but I promise you this part, you will have a positive learning environment. They will respect you and you will respect them. And it also helps the students by letting them help you make those expectations for the classroom. It also lets them know that you feel like that you appreciate who they are and that you value who they are as your student. Your daily schedule, your class routines, upload all of that stuff. The diagram of the classroom, the class seating chart, that's easy to get from for this campus. You just can upload it, and I move my students around all the time and put them, and so I just upload it when I do it. That way, when I have a sub, I print it out for my sub plans as well. So when I'm printing that stuff out for my sub plans, I'm uploading that stuff. Is it a lot of work? In the beginning, it is.
Yes, in the beginning.
In the beginning, it is. If you have never done it, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it, because that's your evidence, and that's going to be what saves you if somebody says you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
All right. And again, one piece of evidence can go into more than one standard. So right here, my behavior management philosophy and procedures and routines, all that is in my syllabus. So I upload my syllabus to standard 7. This is
you
how
can check. You'll see in a minute. I'm sorry, Ms. Price. You'll be able to check on that platform. You can check different standards. So we're not saying you have to add every individual one. You just check it, and then you upload that artifact. And so you'll have standard 1, for instance, and then standard 7. Check them, and they're done. So we're not saying you have to add something for every single standard. No, it's a place where you check for if the standard goes more than once, you don't have to put it that one. So that if you want to use the syllabus, and Ms. Price has said her expectations to her classroom management behavior thing is in there, you check 1 and then you check 7.
Exactly.
That's 2 standards that you have documented already. Right? All right. That's my daughter calling, y'all. It would be.
And I'm gonna be the timekeeper. Keeper is 7:23.
Okay. Okay. All right. So academically challenging learning environment. So this would be a video of students solving a problem. Can anybody type in the chat some type of evidence that you could use for this one? Let's see what they come up with, Dr. Doe. Anybody got anything yet? What kind of artifact can we add for this?
I'm a video girl, so I'm gonna do a video of them.
Ms. Price, I want a participant to answer.
Okay. Somebody got it. Somebody got it. Yeah.
Did somebody put video? Yay.
Yes.
What else?
Video. I like that. Learning groups. Yes.
Yes. And you
Word
don't,
wall, sound wall for ESOL, someone put in. Socratic seminar, someone put in.
Yes.
yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Room transformations, someone put in.
Hmm. Can you elaborate? I know we short the time, but okay, role transformation.
I like-
Project-based learning activities,
That's
Yes,
fine.
yes.
that's a good one.
That is a good one. I love doing projects.
All right, so guys, you sort of get what we want you to do and to add and cover yourself so that you will be ready to go when they say you don't have something, just in case. They're not going to say that, but just in case. All right, Ms. Price.
All right, standard 9 professionalism. For us doing this presentation, we could upload, but if you're over department head and you happen to do presentations, anything like that, any conferences you have to attend, workshops, like my teacher said, if you're going to school to get your specialist, your doctorate, bachelor's, master's, that's documentation and also reflection on your personal goals.
Yeah.
All these are documentation of your professionalism. So your thank you letter for serving as a mentor, helping another teacher, being a teacher lead, volunteering. So all this can be uploaded. And I said earlier, I went to a workshop today. We had to register on CTERN. I can show we get a certificate after you've attended. They send a certificate through the email. So I just get it, download it, and upload it.
Oh, I just thought of one. What about thank you notes from parents? We have that on there? We don't have parents. But parents
No, we need
thank you
that.
notes all the time. So
Right.
that would be
Right.
one another way. Okay.
That's a good one too. Or letters of introduction
Mhm.
to your parents.
Your welcome letter.
Welcome letters,
That would
yes.
be a really
yes,
good place to put that. Your welcome letters to your students and your parents. Yes.
Exactly.
all
And
the
see, that can
information.
go in
That
9,
can go in
8.
two. Mhm.
Or a
Yep.
monthly class newsletter,
Yes.
class newsletter.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, guys. That can go in both. That can
Yeah.
go in both.
Mhm.
So
If you
communication.
Yes, and if you do anything with the parents, as far as communicating with them, about having meetings, all of that stuff, they have to send those letters back signed and all of that. That is communication. So use them,
Yes.
use them, use them. Make sure you go to, if it is campus, whatever, Power School, whatever you're using, print a report, and it's right there at your fingertips, and PDF and upload. Okay.
Last semester, I used to have like mini meetings with my students where I tell them their progress, but I'm not giving them nothing on paper, but I'm actually showing them their grade. So it's not a progress report. It's just a little one-on-one with the teacher, a little mini conference, but I documented in Infinite Campus, boom, communication.
Also, it doesn't necessarily have to be an Infinite Campus, but it could just be a list of names that you have and times next to it for that class.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Okay, because I know at ELA I have conferences all the time about students' reading levels, and so I document it with them. Go ahead, Dr. Doe. I do apologize.
My school has something called Fantastic Fridays, where we would send in our videos of our children doing activities during the week, and they would actually upload them for the parents to see them on our school's Facebook page.
Yes,
That's good. That's
documentation.
good.
Good community. Because you know, as in education, we get enough bad stuff, and we're not doing this right and we're not doing that right. We want that positive communication going out to the community and to parents, showing that we're doing that good communication with parents and that we're keeping them informed.
Right.
Okay?
And at
I
my
was,
school, we're lucky enough to have an editing class. We have a fully functioning newsroom. So
oh, wow.
if there's a student who turned in a form that they should be videoed or photographed, they can actually blur out the face of a single student.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. I haven't been at a school that had a news. I've seen it on TV, never seen it in person. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Now we want to shift gears a little and we're going to talk about how to develop a professional goal. So most districts, I'm going to say this as politically correct as I can. Most districts tell you what to put on your TKES goal, for your TKES goal.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Or they give you their mission, their goals. Like I think the district before me gave us 2 and we had to create one. That third one was our personal goal.
It's your own.
Right, it was our own.
But I want you to be very careful and be very mindful, because you do not have to use that. If you think it's too difficult for you, you don't have to do it. If you think you're not going to be able to prove that you're doing it, I would not use it. I would be smart about it, which leads us right into creating goals. I would be smart about it. And I would do what you exactly know you can accomplish. And you'll be able to measure it. How will you be able to accomplish that
Has
goal?
to be measurable.
Okay. And then you be able to achieve it within the timeline of the time that we have to do it within the school year. Make it worthwhile. Don't just create something that it's not going to benefit you and your students.
Right.
Don't do that. And then finally, make sure you're in a timely manner with what your goal. Okay. So we'll be smart about it. Everybody knows about SMART goals.
Yes.
You guys already know that. You're teachers. We teach your children all the time. So we know about SMART goals, and those are very, very important to keep in mind when you're developing a professional goal, because it's saying, I care about what I'm doing with my students. I care about what I'm teaching them. So that's very, very important that you're smart when you're creating those goals.
Well, it's a little quiz time, but do we have time, or do we have time to play the quiz? It's 7:32.
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
go. We're almost done.
All right, so log into Kahoot.com on your device if you want to play, and wait for that code. Can you click it? Because I did not share my screen, Martisha.
I think it's Kahoot.it.
It is. Sorry, guys. It is Kahoot.it.
Can you drop the link in the chat?
Yes. Somebody else has to do it because I'm sharing. Can anybody do it for me?
I'll do it.
Thank you. Because when I clicked it, it went to the answer.
Yeah, go back.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to go to share. It didn't go to share the code.
Garage door. Kahoot.it.
Yes.
Yes.
Martisha, when you go back to it, do you see a share button or start? I think it's start.
Let me see. Ms. Price, you may have to do it on your end.
Okay.
You may have to control the Kahoot.
The
Because
code
I'm
will
afraid.
come up on the screen once she starts sharing her screen.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now.
Right, because it's not letting me do it.
All right. You should have rights, Ms. Price. You have them.
I do. I'm about to share my screen now.
Okay.
And the code will come up.
Okay, the time is 7:35. This is gonna be a quick game.
It is. It's only 5 questions.
All right, excellent.
Let me know when you can see it.
I don't see your screen yet, Ms. Price.
Oh no, I
Did
clicked
you
on
also,
it.
while we're waiting, put your email address in the chat, and that way we could email you.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'm doing that. Thank you for reminding me.
It keeps telling me host disabled. So
Okay. Nicholas, if you're still on, can you give Ms. Price screen sharing rights, please?
It says host disabled participant screen sharing. I think that's why you guys can see it. I can read the questions.
Maybe
And-
Nicholas is working on it, but go ahead and read the questions.
Okay. Question 1, and you put the answers in the chat. So let's see, it's loading for me. I'm gonna give you the questions in classic mode. Get ready to join. Or can I give the PIN number?
Yes. Well, Ms. Price,
The PIN number is 279-2419. 279-2419. And I am waiting on players. 279. Oh, I see you guys. Hey, Stephanie, Cynthia, Hud. 279-2419. Hey, Sherry. Felicia, PLGM, Dr. Ann. So you guys ready to start? All right, this is a TKES quiz. 3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Let's start. What is an evidence of standard 3, which is instructional strategies? Is it summary explaining grading procedures, or is it technology samples on a disc? Dun, 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 dun. You see how I picked the fall background? Awesome. Standard 3 instructional strategies is one of the evidence is a summary explaining your grading procedures, which should be on your syllabus. Awesome. Next. Oh, we got HUD in leads. Question 2, what is an evidence of standard 6, which is assessment uses? Is it photocopies or photographs of student work with written comments, or is it a schedule of daily classroom routines? Assessment uses.
Mine is only showing a triangle and a diamond. It's not actually showing me answer choices.
Is that what everybody's showing?
Yes.
Yeah, they
It's
would
also
have
not-
to, they would
it's also
have
not
to
showing the
see it
question.
to see where the answers are.
So we can't see the question or the answers, just the.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I see everything because I
yeah,
clicked.
because you're, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I was hoping that would work. Is
It's
it
not-
because the
It's
screen is not
because your screen
showing?
is not sharing, yes. That's,
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
it's because your screen's not sharing. They will be able to see it because that's how it works in my classroom. I project it and then,
Right, right.
So can you ladies ask the question and then let them raise their hand and choose someone to answer?
all right, I'm in the
Sure.
chat.
Any
So you read,
question?
good job, Ms. Dr. Doe. I'm in the chat and I'm looking to answer who's answering and I will call.
All right, so let's see. So I need to go back to question 1, correct?
You can start from question 3.
Where you are.
All right, so question 3. Which is evidence of standard 1? Standard 1, remember guys, is professional knowledge. Is it summary of a plan for integrating instruction, or is it documentation of presentations given? Which is evidence of standard 1, professional knowledge? Is it summary of a plan for integrating your instruction, or is it documentation of presentations given?
Ms. Everett said A.
Ms. Everett is correct. It is. It is A. It's summary of your plan for integrating instruction. Awesome. Awesome. And unless you took notes, you're probably not cheating. So that's good. I know teachers are not cheaters. We're not. That's totally against what we stand for, isn't it? So question 4, which is the evidence of standard 9? Remember standard 9 professionalism. Is it a reflection of your personal goals, or is it a sample of email concerning student progress? Question again, what is evidence of standard 9, which is professionalism? Is it a reflection of your personal goals, or is it a sample of an email concerning student progress? Dun, 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 dun.
Stephanie please says A.
Stephanie, you are correct. It's a reflection of your personal goals. That is good, which you've already given in
All
your
right,
presentation.
last question.
All right, question 5, which is evidence of standard 4? How are you going to differentiate your instruction? Is it intervention plan, or is it samples of extension or remediation activities? Which is evidence of standard 4, an intervention plan or samples of extension or remediation activities?
Shaquita Hudson says B.
Correct. You are right. Those are the 5 questions. You guys did awesome.
Good job.
People were paying attention. I know you guys tired. You did
A.
an awesome job.
All right, we want to thank Martisa and Tamika for giving us this information. It's information that all educators can use because we will all be evaluated on the TKES platform. And Martisa is going to send you a copy of the examples. She's going to put her email address in the chat. And she'll also send you, I think you said you'd send them the presentation, am I correct?
I have a cheat sheet for them already ready.
Okay.
And I also put in, if we have any people on who are not members of GAE, we would like you to join. It's I put the link in joingae.org. So if you would do that for us, we'd be more than glad to happy to have you as a member, and you will be protecting your livelihood.
And we're going to do our last commercial for tonight. As you return to your schools, if there is anyone in your building who is not a member of GAE, please get them to join GAE. They can go to gae.org/join, or we can get you a paper application for them to fill out. And the more members you recruit, the more times your name goes into a drawing. We have a drawing for $250, and we also have a drawing for $500. So Please get active in your building and help recruit your colleagues into the best organization for educators to belong to. So
We thank you guys so much tonight. Thank you.
thank you all for joining us. And as you return to your schools, please have a wonderful start of your school year. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Martisa and Tamika, hang on.
Okay.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you. I was more nervous this time. I don't know why. I was very nervous this time,
That's funny.
but we did it.
That's funny.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Then when I couldn't share my Kahoot, I was like, oh,
That's okay. They're teachers, they know.
technology.
Sometimes
When it works, it's
technology
good.
doesn't work.
Exactly.
Oh, I see somebody from my school. Hey, Xavier. Oh, wow. That's exciting.
You see a colleague?
Yeah, I see Mr. Bell.
Oh,
Hey.
I think some people may have stepped away.
Oh, wow. Oh, Mr. Sweet. He's from the high school. Oh, I got my peeps. That's exciting. Yay.
Dr. Ann Rhodes said, my teacher, she couldn't get your email to work. It keeps rejecting it.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Let's see why. If she's using a school device, it may not let it.
Oh,
I'm using my personal computer, but I'm using my school email address.
That may be why.
Okay. So I need to use a different Google email address.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I want the presentation. So okay.
this was an awesome group.
Yes.
The questions, I mean, I learned something about special education on their assessment. Not assessment, but their student growth, how their student growth is measured.
Okay, ladies, that was excellent, excellent presentation. And I want to thank you to Nicholas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nicholas.
He's awesome.
He is.
And so I guess, Martisa, I just want to suggest that if you make a drive or give the presentation and things to Lisa, she can make a link so you can send the people a link so they'll have access to the documents on that drive. But if you want to send them as an attachment, you can do that as well.
Okay. Okay.
Either way, as long as our members get the information.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, thank you so much, ladies. You all have a wonderful start of your school year.
You too. You too.
All right, good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.